don't think it's too necessary to tell you guys that I don't like the Warriors. I actually think it'd be impossible to find a single Kings fan that likes anything about that franchise. So if you're a Warriors fan or just an NBA fan, you might be wondering, why is a Kings fan and Warriors hater going to be talking about the franchise that he does not like? And well, that's because what I'm about to talk about is completely unbiased, because it has nothing to do specifically with the players or the coach or what they're doing this year. Okay, well, maybe it does have a little bit to do with those guys, but just hear me out. Okay, the big reason why I'm making this video is because the Warriors front office and everyone from, I guess, the head office down to the players don't know what they're doing. I made a video kind of talking about the Warriors and their situation not that long ago, and everybody called me crazy. They said that I was dumb for thinking that they should blow it up, dumb for thinking that they should trade Steph Curry or trade their young pieces for new talent surrounding Steph Curry. And guess what? Now everybody wants to talk about how the Warriors are throwing away the one opportunity to build around Curry. Okay, let me slow down because I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. When this season started, the Warriors looked amazing. I mean, in the first 15 games of the season, they were 12-3. Some of these games, they didn't even have Curry, and they were beating teams like the Boston Celtics or the OKC Thunder, Dallas Mavericks, Grizzlies, Rockets. I mean, good teams. It's not like they're going up against some bums. But you know what? I hate to sound cocky here, but I knew that that wasn't going to last. And you know why? It's because it was Buddy Hield that was carrying this team a majority of the time. There's this little thing, and I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it, but there's something called the Buddy Hield cycle. I'm going to throw the image up on the screen right here. I mean, you may have seen this cycle before. Even Flight Reacts reacted to my TikTok where I was telling Warriors fans, be careful about hyping up Buddy Hield because this cycle is real. And you know what? Even Flight Reacts thought that I was just a hater, or that the Warriors were too good to have something like the Buddy Hield cycle hit them.
I mean, the difference is Kings, Pacers, 76ers, they haven't won a championship in like 30 years. The Warriors have 5 in the last 10. So I don't think Buddy's gonna play out that.
But now things are getting real for the Warriors. They're currently 19-20, below 500, not looking good at all standings-wise in the very tough Western Conference. And it has finally begun the conversations that I have been waiting for everyone to talk about, and that is the next step for the Golden State Warriors. There's two paths that they can go down. One of them is trade your young talent, trade your picks, whatever you have, go all in on Stephen Curry in the last couple years of his career. Steph Curry has shown us, he has proved to us this year, last year, ever since he fucking got into the league, that he can perform. He can be the guy that can take a team to the NBA Finals and win a championship. But unfortunately, for something like that to happen, there needs to be a good team. And to be quite frank with you guys, the current Warriors roster is dog shit. So that's their one option, right? Going all in on Curry, put all the chips on red, whatever you have to do, trade whatever you have to do to win a championship or have a chance, right? But then there's the other option, which is kind of like the Kobe Bryant route if he didn't get injured. And that's like, hey, we know that you're really good. We know that you can still, be a huge championship piece and a huge provider for this team. But unfortunately, we have to think about our future. We can't just trade everything to have a couple more years with you. So instead, we are going to let you rot on the court, not trade you because you're a Warrior for life, but instead you're going to go up there, shoot, 33s a night. You're just going to drop some crazy scoring numbers. And at the end of the day, we might not even make the playoffs. And so those are their two options, okay? But we've known this for quite some time, right? I said those two options in my last video that I was talking about earlier, but something happened today that has just changed the entire situation. We actually got the answer from the Warriors on what they want to do, and it is mind-blowing. I'm going to go ahead and give the mic to Steve Kerr and have him kind of talk about, what he thinks about the team right now in their current situation, right? You would assume that a head coach of a team that has Steph Curry would be talking about how they can still contend. They are still strong front runners. The Dubs era isn't over. They won a championship, what was it, like 3 years ago? They still have a chance, right? Go ahead and just listen to what he has to say.
Had this amazing run, and we're at the tail end of it, and we're trying to hang on to it. And it's a young man's game. We know that, and we were that team 10 years ago. We were Oklahoma City. We were Houston. We were just on the rise, and so no, here we are, and we're on the decline. We know that.
So after hearing that, I kind of took away two things. One of them is that he knows and acknowledges the real side of this, which is the Warriors are nearing the end, and it's not looking good currently as to if they can win another championship or whatever it is. And then he also kind of says like the normal stuff that you would say as a head coach, which is just like, oh, we can still make a push for something if we really try. But it's like he's not going to actually just say straight up like, yo, we suck ass. So Steve Kerr is one of the guys that have been very very vocal on like, hey, let's not trade away our future assets. Let's focus on what we have right now and focus on the future. He's talking so much about the future, even in this quote where he says, I probably won't be around, but I would tell you if this organization gave away the next 6 or 7 drafts for a wild swing, that would be the most irresponsible thing they could do. Now, who the actual fuck is available for 6 or 7 draft picks, I don't know. But putting that aside, it doesn't end at Steve Kerr. Trust me, shit gets even deeper. So I'm gonna give the mic back to Steve Kerr, where he talks about how him, Steph, and Draymond have all talked about this.
Steph and Draymond and I have talked about it, together. It would be so irresponsible for this franchise to trade everything away for one final swing at a title. Yeah.
Steph Curry, the guy that wants to do nothing but win a championship, has made it now clear that he too thinks it would be responsible for the team to go all in and build around him. He also agrees, hey, you know what? Throw away the last couple years of my career where I'm still an amazing player, one of the best players in the league, and instead focus on the future. Focus on drafting a 7th grader that we don't even know who the hell his name is yet. Because the last couple contending years of my career don't matter. I'd rather have this team be good in the long run. But you know what? It becomes even more brain dead the more that Steve Kerr talks. I'm going to hand the mic back to him.
I'm so impressed with these guys and how much they care about the Warriors and the future of the Warriors. Part of that is they're Warriors for life. That's part of the meaning of having a player who's only on one team for his entire existence. You see Dirk Nowitzki now watching Dallas games, like he's on the sidelines like a fan, and that's really cool. I love that, and I think that's how Steph and Draymond are going to be once they're retired. They're going to be Warriors fans. They want the best for this franchise going forward, and so they have a reasonable mind about it.
My problem with this is the Dirk comparison. I understand that guys like Dirk are Mavericks for life. That is their diehard. He played there his entire career, so he's going to go to the games and do whatever. Like, that's great. But what the fuck does that have to do with building around Steph Curry and Draymond for the rest of their career? And my biggest issue with this is that Steve Kerr doesn't mention Klay Thompson. I don't know if maybe I'm getting too drama-pilled here and I'm like trying to instigate something that doesn't actually exist, but are Warriors fans and Warriors players and coaching, whatever, do they think that because Klay Thompson left the Warriors, he's not like a Warrior for life? Like, he's not gonna have a statue in front of the fucking arena and probably live in San Francisco when he retires? This entire conversation, saying that the team isn't gonna build around Steph, has made me realize Klay Thompson is the smartest motherfucker out of all of you guys. He's going to a place where, they might not looking the best championship-wise right now, but overall, you could say is a championship contending team. He can win a championship there, which is great for him, his legacy, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, he won 4 fucking championships in Golden State as the number 2, number 3, whatever it is. Do you seriously think that because he left to play in Dallas for like 2 or 3 years, he's just like throwing that out the window like he's not a Warrior for life? That is so ridiculous to me. And it makes me think that shit, if Curry were to leave the Warriors right now, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't be mad that he didn't stay loyal to the Warriors his entire career, because shit, I want to watch Steph Curry be on a contending team. I want to see him play on a roster that can actually win a championship and not just sit with their dicks out in their hands saying, oh, I care about the future. Like, oh my God, it is actually so ridiculous. And if anyone else tries to tell me about the rest of the roster, like Kuminga or, Wiggins or whatever the hell, they're not, or Pods is a big one for sure. They're not taking the franchise anywhere. No one on that current roster is taking the keys from Steph Curry. That's the most sad part. As soon as Steph Curry and Draymond are gone, this team is probably just going to blow it up. Like, they're going to end up trading guys like Kuminga and Pods for picks because they're not worth shit playing on a bottom feeder Warriors team, and they're not going to really develop into like the talent that can lead the team. But it doesn't just end as Steve Kerr. There was actually a little segment from Curry after one of their games where he talks about the same kind of thing where like it doesn't make sense to make a trade. I think one of my biggest problems with this entire situation and hearing the players and Steve Kerr talk about this is that they're pretending like trading for someone good is going to cost them like the next 20 years of their franchise. If you look at the options that they had at the start of the season, right? We're talking Lauri Markkanen and Paul George. I know that obviously looking back at it now, Paul George would not be the best fit there. He's not really playing that good. But back in that time, I think the asking price was like for just like Pods or even like Kuminga. Like, just give up one of your younger players and you can get an all-star player in return. Shit, Lauri Markkanen would be like an all-NBA player with the Golden State Warriors market. And so I don't understand where like the conversation comes from where, you know, you're giving up the future draft capital, you're giving up your 2042 first round pick. I just don't understand. I don't know what they're going for. The team is going to be a bottom feeder this year. Actually, you know what? They're not going to be a bottom feeder. They're going to be even worse. They're going to be mid. They're going to be in the middle of the fucking play-in or right below the play-in, so they have shitty lottery luck, and they won't make anything happen in the postseason. I mean, seriously, I don't understand a lot of what's happening at Golden State. I'm sure that Golden State Warriors fans themselves don't know what's happening, or they have their own opinions, and if you do, let me know down in the comments below, because like I said before, I don't want this video to come off as like a hate video where I'm just slamming on the Warriors because I don't like them. No, I am doing this out of like, I want you guys to be better. I want you guys to make the correct decision, which is try to win in the last couple of years of the Steph Curry era. And if you're not going to try to win, fucking trade him. Trade him to someone else. Like, that's all I ask. So with that being said, sorry if this is a heated video. I've just been like talking about this and saying that this should be something that they do for months now. And with the conversation coming back up, it's definitely been very interesting to hear all the sides about it. So let me know down in the comments, like I said, what you guys think. And before I end this video, I want to leave you guys with one last thing. And that's just the fact that if Curry were to leave the Warriors, either on his terms or the team were to move him, he would still be a Warrior for life. None of that would change because he maybe tries to go win another championship elsewhere, or he teams up with some other, you know, crazy MVP player. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe. I read all the comments down below. I will see you guys in the next one. Later.